Hi, I'm Leanne Ely. I'm a nutritionist, a New York Times best-selling author, and some people even say I'm a life coach. I started the Daily Dish Show to share my story, my truth, and my journey to vibrancy, and to inspire others to do the same. Because it's all about grit, perseverance, and finding a way despite the odds. It's about embracing the whole woman, not just the parts that are easy to love, and feeding her heart, mind, body, and soul. But I found that this isn't just my story, it's your story too. It's go time. This is the Daily Dish. I'm going to ask you one question. And the reason I'm asking you about this one question is because this is the question we all need to be asking ourselves, because it's going to move the needle in your life. Seriously, on every level, with everything, if you just take a moment to think about this question and to ask it. So that said, let's move to the next thing. Hey, Carol, good to see you. Lily, I'm so glad you're here. Let's move to the next thing. When you believe that you can't do something, well, let's just say you're going to score all kinds of evidence to support that, aren't you? You're going to find the people who are going to say, you're right, it's too hard, it's too difficult, struggle, blah, 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 blah. You're going to find those people, aren't they? They're going to pop out of the woodwork looking for you so that they can say, you know what, you're right. It's too hard. That's too difficult. Don't do it. There will be Facebook groups for it. There will be your family. There will be text messages. There'll be just coincidental things happening, because when you are seeking evidence to support the things that you believe, you're going to find it. Period. That's just how we're set up. That's how the brain works. This is how it works. So we have to remember this solid principle right here. Okay, you ready for it? There's no power in unbelief. None. Dead in the water. There's no power in unbelief. But there's amazing power in belief. When you believe something, when you have something, there's something there about that belief. There's something, yeah, you get it. Like for those of us, God believers, we know, we haven't seen, we haven't, sat down and said, hey, hey, God, want to grab a cup of coffee? Grab your mindful mug, let's chat. It's not like that. We haven't seen anything that's shown us that. I mean, we could argue for it and say, yeah, we go outside and you see everything and miracles happen and this, that, and the other thing, but we haven't seen face to face, but yet we believe. We haven't seen a lot of things, and yet we believe. But the unbelief that we have in ourselves, the unbelief that even though we've seen ourselves do things that are absolutely amazing, we've given birth, for heaven's sakes. We have managed to cook dinner for 30 people, clean up the place, and then get ready to go on a trip. And I mean, we've done all kinds of things. We've done things at work. We've done things with our families. We have managed to do things that are pretty amazing, because we have been up against the wall before, right? And we had belief in ourselves. I've got to get this done. Have you ever been in that place? I know you have. Yes. Hey, God, let's do your mindful mug. Let's have a little chit chat here. You can do that, by the way. You're just probably not going to have them sit down in your office. I've been kind of hoping for that, but I don't think it's going to happen. But that's where we are right now. This is where the place of belief is the thing that propels us to the next thing. We have strong beliefs. We have, sort of half, well, yes, or I guess I can believe that or whatever. But our beliefs usually are in extreme black and extreme white. There's a real diversity there. And if we were all to sit down and in a big circle right now and talk, you would believe something and I would believe something different. Who's right? There is no right? Really? Is there? Is there? You know what the belief is, though? The belief is the power part. The belief is the power part, because the belief puts your focus on those things. Your belief focuses you onto, I believe I can do this. I believe I can have this. Believe I can be this. Belief moves the needle. But when you're in the lifestyles, and you're going to pardon my French, ladies, because here it comes. When you're the lead character in the lifestyles of the bitch and aimless, you remember the rich and fameless? Remember that? But if you're doing the other thing and you're whining and you're complaining and you're constantly in this place of always looking for the negative and not, it's just not going to work out. And I'm just, this victim and my life is, everybody else has this. I have nothing. If that is your lot in life, if that's your belief system, again, no power, no belief, it's dead in the water. You go nowhere. And you know what? What happens is too, which this is the part we don't oftentimes see, is we spread misery like a 4-year-old spreading peanut butter. It's not just on the bread, it's everywhere. So we have to be looking at this and we have to be assessing, what am I about? Is this what I'm about? Is this my legacy? This complaining, this lifestyle, this? Or if you get to this place and you just take a minute and you just sit back for a minute and you recognize and you see and you say, what's up here? Because I want you to see that when you're spending all that time complaining, all that time being a victim, all that time with this, that, and the other thing, the only focus you have is you. It's all on you. You're seeing only the misery, only the glass being half empty, only the this, only the that. You are Eeyore in real life without being a purple donkey, walking around doing it. That's what happens when we put that on. That's what happens in our unbelief. So it's time for a flip. What do you say? Should we flip this? Are we tired of this? Do we want to live that kind of a life? Absolutely not. So if we're going to boil it down to just one question, you ready for the question? Assuming you have hopes, dreams, and goals, of course, and you're just thinking, well, I have all this, but it's never going to happen because it never has, and this, that, and the other thing. We have to bring it down to this question, and it's this. How would the person I would like to be do the things I'm about to do? In other words, how you're living right now today, what you're doing is because of what you're thinking about. What you do, you think about. I mean, honestly, right? Nobody ever is you have to think of it first before you're able to do it. You have to have a dream, have a vision, have a goal for your life before you can start aiming for it. But if you're just caught up in just this crap of how life is just handed you you're the one who got pooped on. You're the one who's everybody's wiping your feet on. You're the one, blah, blah, blah. If you're going to stay there, that unbelief is going to make you powerless and it's going to keep you completely away from any kind of a vibrant life. 100%. Because what you are thinking about is going to come out into your life. It can't help but come out into your life. There's an author and speaker. His name is Jim Cathcart, and he has a great TED Talk. You should go take a look at it. And he wrote a book called The Acorn Principle. And he says, we are not biological coincidences. I just absolutely adore that. Absolutely 100%. And you've heard me say this before. We are fearfully and wonderfully made. So therefore, it's time to step up and step out of the misery, the peanut butter misery that's everywhere, and step into the world that we're supposed to be living. Because when we understand that we are divinely here by God on purpose for his purpose, then everything has to shift. Because to live another life like that, to think another way, is a slap in the face to God himself. It's thumbing your nose at him and saying, it's not enough. And I'm just going to sit here and complaining, not seeing the privilege, not seeing all the things that we have, not having the heart of gratitude that we need to have for everything. Are you with me on all this? Do you see all of this? That's exactly right. Sarah says, sometimes we need to learn how to be, how the person we want to be would handle that situation. We don't know what we don't know. And when we know better, we do better. That's exactly right. But in order to get to that place, we have to be fed up with the old stuff. I mean, if you get fed up, our words come back. It's like, toothpaste, words, time. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. You can't get your time back. You can't get your words back. So think about what it is that you want and believe in that. Believe in that. Because if I can do it, you can do it. Oh, hello. If there, and how many people are there? Look for the people who are doing the things that you want. You remember what Mr. Rogers said? Look for the helpers. In times of stress, in times of great turmoil, look for the helpers. So look to the people who are doing the things that you want to do. Those are examples, not so you can compare yourself and say, well, they have it made, they don't have kids, they don't understand, blah, 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 blah. No, so that you can say, I can do that. If they can do it, I can too. So we step into a world worth living. What would the person I'd like to become do what I'm about to do? To become, we need to start doing the very thing today. We don't put it off. It's like when we talk, in our food addiction webinar that a lot of you attended in there, I said, it's time to stop putting things off until Monday, or the Oreos are gone, or after the holidays, or whatever. We put things off. And what I want to bring you to this place of today on Thursday. Thursday's your day to start. Thursday's your day to flip this. Thursday is your day to say, that is the life that I want to live. I want to become this person that I've always dreamed to becoming. I don't need to put it off. I just need to do it. And if you say, well, I want to be the person in the bikini, well, then start doing the things that a person in a bikini would do. Doesn't mean you get to wear it today. It just means you got to do the things that they would do. And then send me a picture of you in a bikini. I'd like to see it. Right? This is what it is. So if I want to have meaningful relationships in my life, like, let's just think about this. And I'm giving you such a dramatic, black and white picture here because I think it's helpful. Because, most of us aren't quite, that whiny Betty's over here, just like completely taking down the whole world as we go. Most of us aren't like that, but we're somewhere in between where our thoughts just get away from us and we're not sitting there consciously trying to control what it is that we think about. Oh, it's Wednesday. Sorry. Sarah, I'm glad you're here. Sarah's my timekeeper. She's helping me out. I know, because I'm just all over the place. So yes, it is Wednesday because it's Wise Women's Wednesday. So if I want meaningful relationships, then what am I going to do about that? Am I going to fully listen and engage and affirm that person that I want to have a really good relationship with? Or am I just going to brush them off and say, I don't have time for this, blah, 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 or put them down, or you always? Do we change the way we speak? Does our dialogue shift? Do we become the person that we want to be in a year? Do we see our relationship right now today and say in a year, our relationship could look completely different? Maybe that's true. And maybe, yes, it takes two to tango, but maybe you're the leader. I think women should be able to lead every once in a while on the dance floor, don't you? So if I want a healthy and fit body, would I make a decision that fast food is a part of it? Would I? Would I just make a decision that my car will no longer drive through those places? Will I make a decision that I will no longer go down the candy aisle if it triggers me? Will I make a decision to start doing the things that I know are going to support that healthy, fit lifestyle that I want? Because if I am to become, then I have to do today. Becoming means evolving, becoming better, doing the things that take you to the next level. Hey, Jama, I'm glad you're here. If I want a lovely home, am I going to clean up after myself? Am I going to make my bed? Am I going to fluff the couch cushions? Fluffer here. What am I going to do? Am I going to decorate it? Am I going to hang a picture? What do I do to become the person who has this lovely home? Right? That dirty dancing lift man. Yeah, Sarah, you can handle me. Nah, maybe not. So what you do, what you think, what you say, what you move, what you drink, all of these things are what are adding into the equation of who you are going to become. Everything counts. Every single thing counts. We can't keep ducking out and saying, well, just this once, or just this thing, or just this over here, or just this, because those justs have added up and added some pounds to our butts. They've taken away they've subtracted from our health. They've taken away vibrancy in our lives. Think about it. Just this once is just the wrong turn. It's just the wrong turn. We have to start thinking in different terms. Do you remember that commercial? Now, it was the early 2001s. I actually went and looked it up on YouTube, you guys, because I was laughing so hard. What was that commercial? I couldn't remember the commercial. And it's a bunch of people sitting on the subway, and they're talking about breakfast. It's like 2001. They're sitting there talking about breakfast, and some guy's eating a Danish, and somebody else is actually eating cereal, I think, out of a bowl. And this woman has just closed a box and kind of licking her fingers. She gets up and walks out, and there's 2 cinnamon buns on her butt. Do you remember that? Do you remember that? And it was a commercial for Nutri-Grain bars. And they said, it's time, what did they say? Respect yourself in the morning. That's what they said. It's time to respect yourself in the morning, which I thought was really good, because they were talking about all of this. They were basically talking about, respecting yourself. But I want to take it a step further. I want you to respect yourself all day long and honor your decisions, honor your integrity, honor the things that you say you're going to do, and actually do them. Because, you don't want to sin a butt. You don't want to have, nobody wants those cinnamon buns, strapped to their thighs or their buns or anywhere else. But, becoming, when we make a decision to become, we're making a decision at like a little, larvae to spin a chrysalis. And you know what happens in that chrysalis? That worm becomes liquid first, and then it builds back up to that glorious butterfly, and it struggles to get out. And this is where some of us are right now. We're in the chrysalis. We feel like complete mud, But the point that I'm making is that with our vision for our lives, we get the vibrancy that goes with it, because we've made a decision to become. We've made a decision that today I become. And tomorrow I'm going to become a little bit more. I'm going to become, I'm going to do, I'm going to be. As we do this, our identification of who we are changes. The way we think changes. Everything shifts. This is what it's about. So the person you're designed to be, by the way, you know where she is? Right here in you already. She's your higher self. She's your beautiful self. She's the one who knows what it is that you need to do next. If you'll just listen. She's been squashed for a long time. I mean, she's tired of listening to you complain too. She doesn't want to have anything to do with it. But she knows the way. She's connected with God. She's the one who puts your soul on fire. She's the one who lights you up. Connect with her. It's worthwhile to do this. It's worthwhile because you're worthwhile. And I believe with everything inside of me, it is your duty to do so. This is how we say thank you to God. This is how we say, you know what? I love you, and you obviously love me. You created and put me here. It's an amazing thing. Think about that. Meditate on that. Because I promise you, after about 5 minutes of just sitting in a quiet meditation, being still and knowing that He is God, with this whole thing that you are here on purpose, for purpose, created by Him right now at such a time like this, you'll be in tears, bawling your eyes out. And our thank you to Him is how we live our lives. Because in order to find our purpose, we have to live on purpose. And it will show up. My hand to God, I know this in all of my heart. I know this. So it's time for you to take your place, right? It is time for you to take your place at the table with the King and make that decision that today is your day. Today is your day. No more of this other stuff. No more of the garbage of not believing in yourself. So ask yourself what you want. 1 year from today, think about 1 year from today. What do I want my life to look like? What do I want me to look like? What do I want to feel like? Who do I want around me? Think about that. Like really sit down and think about it. Have a minute on Saturday morning, maybe with your journal, and write that stuff out. Because I'm going to tell you right now, that can be yours if you make that decision for yourself. Because your becoming of your future self is dependent on what you're going to do today on Wednesday at 1:33 p.m. See, I got the date right. Yep. So I want you to just to fall into this, to love up this message, to let it go into your heart, let it be into your skin, let it go into your head, let it be something, marinate in it. Hey, I'm a, cookbook author after all. Yeah, marinate in it. We have the ability at any moment, at any time, to completely flip that switch and to start becoming. When we decide our future self is worth it, and we decide that we are living our future self today. So, like the Cinnabon commercial said, respect yourself in the morning. I want you to respect yourself all day long, and tomorrow and the next day, and for the rest of your life, by following through on the things that you say you're going to do, by actually doing them. Become the woman you want to be. It's within your grasp by just simply asking yourself this question. Am I doing the things that my future self would do? Am I? That's our message for today. I hope that was helpful for you. Peace be with you. Bye.
Thank you for joining me today. You can find me on TikTok for daily tips to help support your most vibrant life. And remember, you are the author of your own story. Until next time.